Hi folks, welcome to MTS. Today we have a Lionel post-war number 57. It's the AEC diesel switcher with the road name of the Atomic Energy Commission, or the AEC. I was able to find one of these. I've actually been building a collection specifically of these post-war switchers. I think there's just something about them that's pretty cool. This one I was able to get off eBay at a pretty good price. These specific ones actually run pretty high in price generally. It's got its issues. It's missing part of the window on that side, and it's missing the entire section over here. I was able to get it not working, so we're going to tear it apart, get the shell off of it, and figure out what's going on. I think probably what we'll do first is actually run a test on it. But there you have it. I'm excited about having it. This is I'm missing, I think, like 2 or 3 more out of the collection. But we're gonna get this taken care of. We're gonna undo. I think it's just 2 screws. It takes the shell off, and then we'll see what we got here. So as stated, this is bought as not working. So we're going to go ahead and hook it up to the test transformer. I've got the ground. We'll just hook up to that. I'm going to hook up the positive of that, and we'll see what happens. Let's see what we got. I hear the E unit going. Sounds like it's just stuck in neutral. Okay, nothing's happening there. Okay. Preliminary, I'm going to say it's probably the E unit. That roller's not turning inside the E unit. So we'll get the shell off and take a quick look, go from there. Okay, so in this particular case, we have a Phillips head on the back part of the shell, and we have a flathead on the front. Start with Phillips head. Set that over here to the side. So I'm looking inside the E unit, and it looks a little dirty, but that's all I'm seeing. Nothing crazy. Let's rotate. So we've got rotation. Nothing's binding. Wheels are moving. I think our main issue here is in the E unit. We're going to take the E unit out and inspect that roller a little bit. Looking at the E unit, I can tell it's really dirty. So we're going to just start first by cleaning that off. Next thing I just noticed, we have a loose wire. Looks like that wire needs to go over to here, so we'll work on resoldering that. Looking at my other connections, looks like everything else is in play. So that's going to be we're going to clean off the roller and resolder this wire back to this post. Okay, let me zoom in. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I like to take that toothpick. We're just going to put that plunger, move that out of the way, like so. There we go. And then we'll just grab a Dremel with a wire brush and clean that off. There we go. Roller secure, and it's moving freely. So while we're going to let the heating iron heat up here, I'm going to go ahead and remove this top plate. Looks like it's a Phillips head. Take a look at our brushes. Well, we'll probably clean those up a little bit. The brush, the plate on the top of the armature. Yeah, it definitely needs some work. I'm also concerned, just now looking at that after I pulled the armature out, you can see that worm gear in there is really, this thing's seen some use. That part of the worm gear looks really good, but as you get further down, that's been worn off pretty good. That's not encouraging at all. Okay. So what I did, I just went ahead and put the armature back in there and tried to do a manual spin on it, and I think that gear is shot. Well, so much for that. We'll have to find another gear. What I did was I just rotated the wheel to where that had the most play in it. And as you can see, there's plenty of teeth. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's good teeth on that. As you get over here, you can see that it's been chewed up pretty good. So that just turned a quick fix into a long fix. I'm still going to go ahead and resolder this plate, but we're going to have to pull the wheel, take off these side rods. We're going to pull the side rods off and pull the wheel off the back. We're going to have to drop that, figure out how to get that gear out of there. I think it's just more or less just pressed on, and then I'm going to have to find another gear. But we'll get it going. It's just going to be a little bit more than what I thought. Okay, so we're going to start by removing the side rod. It's just a 1/4 inch wrench. Do the same on the other side. I'm not going to worry about taking them off the front. Next, we're going to get the trusty wheel puller. Let me back you back out. There we go. Alright. See if I can find a good spot to do this without breaking the flange. Always seems to be the hardest part. Actually, folks, I think that's loose. Okay. So I'm going to press on this end of the axle to try to get that gear off of there. Bring it right back. Okay, so I was able to actually press that down a little bit more. I've still got a ways to go yet on this. I got to figure out how to get that gear off the axle. I think what I'll probably end up doing is just taking a spring-loaded punch, see if I can get that down through there. In the meantime, I did want to show you, there's this little plastic piece on the outside. It's supposed to simulate like a brake. You just take a flathead screwdriver, and that just pops right out of there. There we go. Save you a little bit of money. So that worked out well. I just used a spring-loaded punch on the end of the axle, just kind of draped the end of the locomotive off the end of my workbench, and then just push that through, and now we can access that little brass gear. Let's see, first thing I can notice already, we're going to take this, there's a plastic, I don't know what that is, plastic spacer, I guess. I'm going to see how to get that out of there, because until I remove this plastic spacer, I can't get to that gear. So I was able to get this spacer, I'm going to call it, out of the way. It's already popped out and flown across the room. However, I want to show you how I did that. So I took just a flathead screwdriver. I went underneath the coil and propped up the screwdriver right there, clipped it upwards, and it popped right out. So now we'll get that out of the way. And then we're going to get this brass gear out of the way. Oh my gosh, it's super dry in there. There's just no lubrication at all. And there we go. See if I can show you. So you can see those teeth are chewed up pretty bad. Let me find a good example. There's some good teeth there. And those have been chewed away. So that's what we're dealing with. Also going to clean out this cavity with this old grease that's down here. We're going to clean all that out and go put some nice fresh red and tacky in there, and see if we can find a gear to replace that. I think these are fairly common, but we'll go from there. So here I just sprayed a little WD-40 on the end of one of these Q-tips. We're just going to clean this up. Like I said, clean this cavity out real good. I was actually able, there's a ton of little brass pieces of filament. I don't know if you can see them, probably not. But there's a ton of brass filament down here. So we're going to clean all of that out really good. I don't have a brass worm gear. I'm also going to take this small Q-tip. Let's go in here and clean that out really good too. Again, this is just nothing more than WD-40 on the end of this. Same with the other side. Okay, it's been a few days. I had to order some parts, so I had to get the worm wheel. I didn't have one of these in stock. I thought I may be able to get away with this plastic version, but after actually I did a full assembly and noticed, I don't know if you can see it right there, but the teeth are going the wrong direction. And I figured it's probably better to have the brass piece anyway. So I'm going to heat the brass worm wheel up, and we'll get it back on the shaft, actually dropping it into the chassis there. We'll get that taken care of. Again, we're replacing this other one where it was chewed up pretty good. I also was able to get the armature shaft bushing, which again, that's just it's a piece of plastic. But this one was a little bit out of center, and I figure since I'm in there, may as well go ahead and replace that as well. So I'll press that in place too, but first off, we're going to go ahead and get the worm wheel heated up, put it into the bottom of the chassis, into that cavity, and then I'll hopefully be able to slide the axle through there with minimal effort, right? So, okay, so I've got my vise ready to press the wheel with the axle. We're going to heat up the worm wheel and then drop it into the cavity, and hopefully it'll just press into place. Okay, so I was able to get that pressed in. It moves freely, so we're good there. Another just quick point, something to look for, know from experience. Be sure when you're mounting this that you put the correct wheel on the right side. So this one has the gear on the end of the wheel, and this side does not. You don't want to get that inverted, because then you have to take it all apart again. Should go without saying, things happen. But yeah, I think we're all set. We can get this other wheel pressed on. We can get the hardware back in place, and I can start putting the armature back together. The other thing too you want to make sure of is that both of your wheels line up, and there's a quarter circle on the other side. So these are in like a 3 o'clock position, and you'll see this is in a noon position, or 6 o'clock, depending on however you look at it. But okay, got both the wheels on, hardware's in place. We're just going to kind of free roll it here and just make sure that there's not anything binding, and it's rolling nicely. Okay, we'll go ahead and put in the armature shaft bearing. I'm going to press that in there with an arbor press, and then we can put the armature back in and start reassembly. Okay, I was able to get that seated. I'll just run that down in there. Oh, much better. I can already tell the difference. It's spinning freely. And that looks good there as well. All right, we'll finish putting the bearing plate back on top, or bushing plate, I'm sorry. We'll put that back on top, and I think one of my wires came undone. I'll have to resolder that. But other than that, I think that's pretty much all there is to it. We'll reinstall the bushings, and when I come back, we should be able to do a bench test on it. Time for a bench test. There we go. Since we're running the Atomic Energy Commission diesel switcher, let's run some appropriate cars with it. There you have it, folks. I was able to revive this number 57 post-war Lionel AEC diesel switcher, and even did some laps on the layout. But what if we set up 6 of these switchers to run at the same time? Not sure if that's ever been done on YouTube before. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 post-war Lionel diesel switchers. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was fun for me. If it seemed like it was loud, it was. And the smell of ozone is just filling the entire basement. So this is pretty awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the line.